Good day everyone and welcome to these lectures on physico-chemical processes for wastewater treatment. So, today we are going to start our lectures on the treatment of water and wastewater by various physico-chemical processes. So, we will start with that why we need these type of processes for water and wastewater treatment, what are their importance and what we will be covering in this course. So, today we are going to discuss all these aspects. So, let us start and understand what are the various environmental crises that is there in the present decade or thereafter, and why this has arisen and what we should do so as to tackle these aspects. So, environmental crisis has started after the industrialization has fastened all throughout the country as well as globally. So, large scale contamination of water and air has happened because of this industrialization. So, the society is requiring new type of facilities, along with that they require lot of energy as well as other types of chemicals and products which can be converted or used in our day to day life. And because of this industrialization and also because of the growth of infrastructure etc. So, large scale contamination of water and air both has happened, and for industrialization we require lot of land, lot of water as well as other utilities. In addition, we require lot of wood and metals and other. So, for taking out like wood we have to do deforestation. Similarly, if we require metals, so that means the mines have to be dig and from there alloys etc. or different types of materials have to be taken out, and for which the deforestation has to be done so that we can take out the resources from mother earth. And because of this deforestation, the characteristic of land as well as the air has changed. So, also because of industrialization and rapid growth in the population, the increase in urban slums has increased because of the movement of the people from the villages and suburban areas to urban areas. So, these urban slums have increased day by day, and all these issues are highly challenging for our society. Generation of huge solid waste consisting of hazardous materials as well as simple municipal solid waste has also increased because of uses of lot of material in our day to day life. Now, industries use lot of metals, non-metallic material, organic materials and other things and convert them into various products. During this conversion, lot of waste is discarded as well. Because of their various characteristics, these waste may be hazardous in nature and they cannot be reused or recycled. So, they have to be either kept aside and just used for landfilling, secured landfilling etc. So, lot of solid waste is getting generated which has these hazardous characteristics. Similarly, from residences, because of use of lot of packaged materials, the amount of municipal solid waste which is getting generated from residential colonies etc. is increasing very quickly, and we have to see that how we can manage these waste. Similarly, because of the uses of lot of energy sources and because of the combustion that is happening not only inside the residences, but also in various furnaces, engines etc. which are running all the society, the CO2 emission is taking place and the global warming is happening. Similarly, this because of the CO2 and other greenhouse effects are also increasing. Because of the uses of lot of CFCs and other types of material for refrigerant, the ozone layer depletion is well known. But in this present course we will be discussing more regarding the water scarcity, or in particular how to tackle the water issues, in particular the water pollution. So, how to take care of the needs of the society with respect to drinking water, irrigation water, industrial water, and after their uses in various residential and colonies as well as in the industries, how to take care that these contaminated water is not discharged back into the aquatic bodies, so that these aquatic bodies still remain as such. So, all these aspects will be covering in the present course. Water scarcity is highly alarming. All those places where 20-30 years back water scarcity was never thought of, now there is the water, drinking water is also not available. If it is available, it is contaminated with lot of materials which, because of which the water cannot be used for drinking. Similarly, because of over exploitation of water for irrigation and for various other purposes, the groundwater depletion has occurred in most of the places in the country, and because of which the availability of groundwater has also gone down, and we have to see that how we can tackle these problems which are increasing day by day. Going further, because of industrialization, the industrial pollution has increased, and this industrial pollution has caused lot of issues. So, what are the major concerns that are associated with industrial pollution? Water and air pollution from chemical process industries need highly immediate attention. Now, the chemical and process industries, they make lot of chemicals and products which the society needs, and these products cater our day to day needs starting from morning till in the night. Now, all the products that we see generally day to day life, starting from maybe clothes, all the material that we use, all the plastics, these everything is made from petrochemicals or some other chemicals. So, the uses of chemicals, petroleum products, petrochemical products has increased day to day life, and because of that these chemical and process industries are increasing, and the water and air pollution from these industries is different as compared to that from municipal wastewater. So, the treatment strategies or the control strategies with respect to water and air also need to be different as compared to from common sources where the pollution is occurring. So, these the water and air pollution from these industries require immediate attention. Similarly, industrial wastewater which is generated from these industries as well as various other industries, they vary widely in their composition, and their characteristics may be entirely different. So, some wastewater may be highly acidic, some wastewater may be highly basic. Similarly, the pollution load in some of the industries may be entirely different as compared to other industry. Similarly, some key type of elements may be present in one industrial wastewater which may not be present in another wastewater. So, depending upon the industry where this manufacturing is occurring and from where this wastewater is getting discharged, so their composition is likely to be highly heterogeneous. So, under that condition the treatment methods also need to be well understood, so that we can apply different treatment methods and their strategy of application has to be different, and that will vary depending upon the composition or the type of wastewater being discharged from that particular industry. Many treatment practices that we are following in our country, many times they require, what they do is that mix the liquid sewage waste which is like municipal wastewater along with the industrial waste, and then they treat the water by conventional method. This may not be accurate, and we have to see that the treatment of industrial wastewater has to be done to up to a certain level before mixing the municipal sewage, because their characteristics are entirely different, and the conventional treatment methods which are used for treatment of municipal wastewater may not be correct for treatment of industrial wastewater, because they may contain different type of pollutants which are entirely not present in the municipal wastewater. So, we have to understand the characteristics of the wastewater as well as understand the various treatment methods and their basic know how, that how they work, what are their possible efficiencies, and which type of water quality parameter they are able to remove as compared to other methods. So, if we have that understanding, we can develop a treatment train for some particular wastewater which may not be applicable for another industrial wastewater or municipal wastewater. Treatment methods such as lagoons, aerobic or anaerobic, oxidation ditches, aerated lagoons have also been tried, but they may not be good enough for treatment of industrial wastewater in particular. Majority of traditional treatment methods, if they have been applied for industrial wastewater, they have failed, and because these conventional treatment methods, they are not able to remove various other pollutants which are present in these industrial wastewater, and they are not able to remove. So, these pollutants remain in the water after treatment also. So, omission of these key parameters, we have to see that these key parameters still have to be taken care of while the treatment of industrial waste is being done, along with the biological treatment as well as other treatment methods. So, we have to see that that how we can take care of these key parameters which are may not be present in the municipal wastewater, but they are present in the industrial wastewater. So, for treatment of such wastewaters which have some different parameters, we require physico-chemical methods for treatment of such wastewaters, and these methods are necessary to remove or recover the chemical ingredients which may be present in the liquid effluents. For many industries like electroplating, chloralkali, pesticides, fertilizers, dyes and pigments, metallurgical, paper and pulp, etc. So, all these industries which are there, their composition may vary entirely. These wastewater may contain some key parameters which will be entirely different than other industries, and certainly these parameters are different as compared to municipal wastewater. In addition to treatment of wastewater, the reuse of water in the processes which are being practiced in these industries is very important. So, we should try to recover most of the water and reuse in the processes, industrial processes, so that the actual water demand decreases and the actual wastewater which has to be discharged is also lower in quantity. Now, the pollution due to chemical process industries. The primary causes of industrial pollution in the chemical process industries is because of the use of outdated and inefficient technologies. So, many these industries are very small and they practice inefficient technologies, they are using such technologies which are outdated, and they are not able to remove these key parametric water quality parameters which may be there in that industry. So, we have to see that these outdated and inefficient technologies which are there for product manufacturing, pollution abatement and various other operations which are being practiced in these industries, they have to be omitted and new technologies have to be used in these industries. Also, in our country the development of unplanned industrial clusters without foreseeing the effect on environment has been done. Now in last few decades the government is taking lot of care with respect to this aspect, that we have industrial clusters where maximum care of environment is taken, but still there are many places where these unplanned industrial clusters are there, and we have to see that how the environment is still taken care of in these old clusters or any new industrial cluster if it is getting developed. The existence of small number of large number of small scale industries. So, in our country there are many industrial units are there. So, that may be textile dyeing, tannery, that may be pulp and paper industry. So, we have lot of small scale industries also. Now, these industries do not want to incur money on the wastewater treatment or other environmental pollution things, because these control strategies require lot of land. In addition, they require lot of capital cost as well as operational cost. So, the existence of this large number of small scale industries which actually resist using money on these pollution control norms is a challenge, and we have to see that how they can be we can develop technologies which can be used by these small scale industries. Now, the poor implementation of the pollution control laws by the industry is one of the basic problem which is there with respect to pollution which is occurring from these chemical process industries, and certainly these implementation aspects have to be improved for checking the pollution which is happening because of these industries. There are many major polluting industrial sectors in the country, and these are listed here, and many of the other new type of industries are evolving in our country. So, there may be industrial sectors beyond these sectors where which are considered to be highly polluting. So, these include, so and this polluting nature is here referred to with respect to both air, water, soil, but some of the industries may be having more air pollution, some of the industries may be having more water pollution. So, we have to see, but the common industries are listed here. So, these include cement, thermal power plants, iron and steel industries, fertilizers where different types of water may be getting discharged having different characteristics, then zinc smelters, copper smelters, aluminum smelters, then oil refineries, distilleries, pulp and paper, dye. All these industries are major chemical and process industries which generate lot of pollution, and all these chemical and process industries, they also not only generate wastewater in high quantities, their characteristics are entirely different, and pollution load is also high as compared to municipal solid, municipal wastewater, etc. So, we require basic understanding of various physico-chemical processes for using them properly in these industrial sectors, so that the wastewater after treatment is good enough to be discharged as per the Government of India norms. Now, environmental engineering as a subject is evolving very quickly, and in the last few decades it has become very important. Traditionally, environmental engineering was considered to be a part of civil engineering, but many other disciplines of engineering, in particular chemical engineering, is now playing a major role. Along with that, many science disciplines are coming into picture. Now, environmental engineering as per definition, as per the book Pavey et al., it is that branch of engineering that is concerned with protecting the environment from potentially deleterious effects of human activity, protecting human populations from the effects of adverse environmental factors, and improving the environmental quality for human health and well-being. In general, the environmental engineers need to protect the environment, protect the human population from the effects of the environmental changes, and also improve the environmental quality, so that the human health or the life, any other life health and well-being is maintained. So, this particular branch is more closely related to chemical and civil engineering as compared to other, but it is associated with other disciplines as well, which includes chemistry, physics and biology, and also it has lot of elements of hydrology, meteorology, atmospheric science, environmental chemistry, microbiology and ecology. So, these things are there. So, it is a more of an interdisciplinary branch with major content from chemical and civil engineering. So, this is there, and this particular aspect is evolving a lot, and its importance in the society is increasing day by day. Now, some of the important definitions which are there with respect to environment or environment pollutants are given here. So, environment in general is water, air and land, and the interrelationship which exists among and between water, air and land and human beings and other living creatures, plants, microorganism and property. So, this is how the environment is defined. So, similarly, environmental pollutant means any solid, liquid or gaseous substances which is present in such concentration and may be or tend to be injurious to environment. So, any substance, if it is present in quantity beyond a certain concentration, after which it starts affecting the environment, it is considered as environmental pollutant. Many of these pollutants will not be considered as pollutant if they are present in below certain concentration limit. So, concentration is the key parameter with respect to defining whether anything is environmental pollutant or not, and also sometimes or many a times how much time that pollutant is present at that concentration, that also affects the its definition, that whether it is a pollutant or not. So, concentration and time, these are two important parameters based upon which the pollution term or environmental pollutants are defined. Water pollutants means any solid, liquid and gaseous substance including noise if present in the atmosphere in such concentration as may be or tend to be injurious to human being or other living creatures or plants or property or environment. So, any of these solid, liquid, gaseous substances, if they are present in the atmosphere beyond a certain concentration and if they are affecting human beings or other living creatures, plants, property or environment, they are considered as water pollutant. Now, water pollution means the presence of impurities in such quantities. So, the quantity is very important and of such nature so as to impair the use of water. So, if any water is there and it has certain impurity present in such quantity that we cannot use it, the water whatever designated purpose, may be drinking, may be irrigation, may be bathing, may be industrial use, may be fishing, may be recreational, then that will be called as water pollution. So, remember, suppose we have to use a water for drinking and it contains some pollutant. So, certainly that pollutant should be present in minimal water quantity, because that can affect us if we drink that water. Now, suppose the same water has to be used for agriculture. Now, we can go on beyond that concentration and maybe use some more concentration can be avoided in agriculture. Similarly, for bathing also we can avoid little higher concentration. So, concentration is very important parameter with respect to the designated purpose for which water is to be used. Now, similarly, some of the impurities that may be there for some designated use, they will not be considered for other designated use. Suppose we have to use a water for steam formation in industry. So, under that condition we have to avoid all the TDS etcetera, because that will form scale if it is present in the water and if it is used for steam generation. Now, the same drink water, it is possible that we can use it for drinking or bathing. So, one key parameter, it is possible that it has to be totally avoided for one designated use, but it may be used for other purpose. So, any of these both concentration, time and then the designated purpose for which the water has to be used, that becomes very important. Why we require treatment of such water or wastewater? Now, water for drinking or industrial purposes obtained from various aquatic bodies. So, we take water from rivers, lakes, groundwater etcetera, and we use it for drinking or any other industrial purpose. Now, if the water is not good enough for drinking, then we have to treat that water. So, water treatment is required for this water before its use in the residences or industry. Now, once they are used, after uses the pollution load will increase in the water discharged from these residences and industries. So, depending upon the final discharge point or reuse of this water, the wastewater which is discharged needs to be treated again. So, this has to be done for uses. So, we have two terminologies, one is called water treatment, okay, and another is wastewater treatment. So, water treatment means that the water whichever water we are getting from river, lakes and reservoirs, that has to be treated before its use. Wastewater treatment means that after the uses of the water, whichever water is discharged, that has to be treated further before discharging the water into any end point or discharge point. So, that is wastewater treatment. So, this wastewater is the water which is already used, and water treatment means the water which are getting from natural sources like rivers, lake, groundwater, that has to be treated if it is containing any pollutant or any undesirable thing before its uses. So, that is why there are two terms, water treatment and there is another term which is called as wastewater treatment. So, remember this. Now, what will be studying in this course? So, this is given here. So, this particular course will be discussing physico-chemical processes for wastewater treatment. So, in the wastewater treatment or water treatment, both physico-chemical and biological treatment are done. So, some industries do not require biological treatment because they generate the water which is having as such that characteristics that the usual conventional biological treatment cannot be good enough for treatment. So, many times only physico-chemical processes may be required. Similarly, for water treatment in our residences, so you must all of us have seen that small, very small units are installed in each and every residence, where the groundwater or the water which is obtained from municipal, that is treated further. So, we have lot of these small scale water treatment units. So, they do not use any biological treatment, generally they will be using only physico-chemical processes for wastewater treatment. So, this particular course will be only concentrated on physico-chemical processes for wastewater treatment. So, it will be starting with the introduction of water pollution and control, and within this section we will be studying in detail the water quality parameters. So, we will be devoting lot of time with respect to water quality parameters. So, what are different physico-chemical water quality parameters and how they are analyzed, what are the basic understanding of these water quality parameters. So, what are their effects on the environment, on human health or other uses. So, we will be covering all these aspects in the introduction of water pollution and control. Within this we will be discussing regarding the pollution control norms etc. also, and also what are the different standards which have been prescribed by Government of India. So, we will be covering everything of this in the introduction. So, this will be the first section. After that there will be a pre-treatment and physical treatment section. So, wastewater treatment strategy actually involves 3-4 stages. So, that these include pre-treatment, physical treatment, biological treatment, then tertiary treatment. So, we will be avoiding, will not be discussing biological treatment, but we will be discussing pre-treatment, physical treatment, tertiary treatment etc. in this particular course. So, we will be discussing flow equalization, aeration, coagulation and flocculation. After that we will be discussing settling and sedimentation, the settling chamber design certainly, then filtration and filtration system design. Thereafter we will be going further and studying the water and wastewater treatment by adsorption and ion exchange. Further we will be discussing the wastewater treatment via membrane based technologies. So, that will include microfiltration, ultrafiltration, nanofiltration and reverse osmosis. So, these are being practiced a lot nowadays. So, we will understand all the basics and little bit more detail of these technologies. Further on we will be discussing the advanced oxidation processes. Nowadays a large number of chemicals and newer types of chemicals, emerging pollutants are there, and these are getting produced from pharmaceuticals, insecticides, various other types of chemicals including surfactants etc. So, these chemicals are coming slowly and slowly into the water, and many traditional chemicals which are produced by industries, they also cannot be treated by conventional means. So, these pollutants need to be mineralized. So, for this we have to use advanced oxidation processes. So, we will be discussing regarding the advanced oxidation processes in detail, including Fenton processes, catalytic treatment, photocatalysis, sono and electrochemical treatment methods and their hybrid combinations as well. And these processes can also be used as disinfection process, because new types of bacteria, virus and pathogens are coming into the water. So, many of these advanced oxidation processes, they can be used for disinfection. So, we will be discussing the disinfection also within the advanced oxidation processes. Going further, in the last we will be discussing wastewater treatment in some of the chemical and allied industries as well as in the common effluent treatment plant. There is a term which is called as CETP. So, we will be discussing the how the treatment of water, wastewater can be done in these industries. Some examples we will be taking, so that we can understand that what is the how the treatment strategy depends upon the wastewater characteristics which are discharged from different industries. So, in the last we will be doing that. Similarly, in industrial clusters, the utilization or usage of CETP is increasing. So, we will be discussing common effluent treatment plant in the last. So, this will be the course content of this particular course. Why attend this course? It will help you understand the various environmental challenges and its protection, in particular the water issues. Also, it will provide the basic understanding with respect to what should be the expectation of the industries with respect to pollution control within their premises, and what are the new and tougher laws and acts that are being enforced in India and globally. So, these are going to be enforced anyhow. So, we should have the basic understanding that how different types of physico-chemical operations or unit operations can be used for wastewater treatment. So, this knowledge will be provided in this course. So, we will be getting lot of technical knowledge for sustainable water management, and also we will be getting to know that how we can use these strategies for getting drinking water as such. So, all these aspects will be covering within this course. So, this particular course will be providing the basic understanding of water quality parameters, sources of generation of wastewater in various industries, what are the various physico-chemical process technologies and how they can be applied in the industries, how to treat water with the available technologies depending upon the composition of the water. Some recycle reuse aspect of the water will be covered, and also will be understanding the how the effluent treatment plants can be better designed via using these physico-chemical processes. So, all these aspects will be covering in this course. You are welcome to understand all these physico-chemical aspects, and all these will be covered within this course. So, these are the differences that I have used in the present slide. Thank you very much.